1988 on Vernier caliper. The question says, the diagram above represents a portion of Vernier caliper. What is its reading? So let's quickly read that. So from my previous videos that I've explained Vernier caliper over, the portion here, this side is our main scale. It contains our main scale reading, while this side it contains our vernier scale reading. And reading on a vernier caliper is usually main scale plus vernier scale will give you the reading on that vernier caliper. So on the main scale, the reading accuracy is from 0 to 9. That's, it can read up to 0.9. While on the vernier scale, that's cm. While on the vernier scale, it can the reading, each of these calibration reads 0.01 cm. So what is our main scale reading here? So we check before this vernier calibration. For the first one, 0 mark, we check what's the reading there. The reading here is 6.1, 6.2. So our main scale reading is what? 6.2 cm. So our vernier scale reading will be, we check on this calibration the one that tallies with the calibration on the main scale, and we check the one that tallies with it is this last one. So this is 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 0. Till this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 0.09. So our vernier scale reading is 0.09. So therefore, our final reading will be, the addition of the two will be 6.2 plus what? 0.09. And that will give us 6.29 cm. Option D. Thank you. From JAM 1994, the question says, what is the reading of the vernier caliper shown above? So as usual, I've been explaining in my other videos, here is the main scale. There are always two scales in vernier caliper. Here is the main scale, and here is the vernier scale. So the total reading will be equals to what? Main scale reading plus vernier scale reading, both in cm. So here has been labeled 1 cm, here 2. So this is 1.1 cm, 1.2, 1.3. So here is where the vernier scale comes in. So our main scale reading equals to 1.3 cm. So our vernier scale reading, when we reach where the vernier scale comes in, we now check for the calibration or the bar that tallies with the calibration on the main scale. And if your guess is as mine, or if you can see like me, it's not a guess, this last bar here tallies. So each of these small bars is 0.01 cm. So this is 0.01, 0.02, 0.03 till 0.09. So our vernier scale reading is 0.09 cm. So our total reading will be this plus that. That's 1.3 plus 0.09 to give us 1.39 cm. So that's the reading on that vernier caliper, option C. Thank you. Let's take this question. The inner diameter of a test tube can be measured accurately using the first one, micrometer screw gauge, pair of dividers, meter rule, pair of vernier caliper. Okay. Now, before I tell you the actual answer, let me show you this photo. So now this is a picture of a vernier caliper. What do we use a vernier caliper to do? Number one, we use it to measure internal and external diameter of round object. So this is a picture of a vernier caliper. So you see this internal jaws here. This is the jaw that we use to measure internal diameter. So assuming you had a round object here like that, a round object there, and this is the rod, and you wanted to measure the diameter of this circular part, this inner part of this rod or this cylinder. This is a vernier caliper. It is the top side, the internal jaws that you use to slot it into that hole and then adjust the vernier screw. You adjust it until it locks onto the edges. So when it locks onto the edges, you take the reading. Whatever reading you take, there will be the size of the diameter, the internal diameter of that object. So a vernier caliper is used to measure internal diameter of an object and also used to measure external diameter of round object. So assuming you have a round object like this and you want to measure the external diameter, you know the difference between internal and external. Assuming here is internal diameter, you see that small hole, then these two marking represent external diameter. So if you want to measure external diameter, you just carry that thing, turn it, and slot it on these external jaws. You slot it, then adjust the screw until it laps on it. You take the reading. So whatever reading you take there will be the size of the external diameter of that round object. So a vernier caliper is used to measure what? Internal and external diameters of round objects. So our answer will be the inner diameter of a test tube can be measured accurately using what? A pair of vernier caliper. Because vernier caliper measures what? Internal and external diameter of round object. Thank you. Let's take this question. One of the following readings represents the measurement of the length of a metal rod using vernier caliper. Taking the reading accuracy into consideration, the most likely one is. So here they are basically asking us what is the reading accuracy of a vernier caliper. Reading accuracy. Reading accuracy means what is the smallest value of length a vernier caliper can measure. So when you talk about accuracy of any instrument, you are looking at the smallest value that instrument can measure. So we know that vernier caliper can measure up to 2 decimal places in centimeters. So we have options here. This is option A, 5.16. That's 2 decimal places. This one 3 decimal places. This one 3. If I were the one, I'll mark X to these two options because it doesn't measure up to 3 decimal places. Okay. Let me show you this picture. So this is the image of a vernier caliper. Now this side represents the main scale, and here this side we can see is the vernier scale, where you have the vernier scale. So let's first read this the reading of this vernier caliper. We have from 0 to 1.0 here. So before the vernier scale comes in, we have what? 1.0. We have 1.0. So our main scale reading ms is 1.0. And then our vernier scale reading will be, we check on the calibration of the vernier scale and see the one that coincides with any of the calibration on the main scale. And here it has been indicated as 7. 7 coincides with it. And each of these calibration on the vernier scale represents what? 0.01 cm. If it were to be in millimeters, that would be 0.1 millimeter. So each of these represents 0.01 centimeter. So our vernier scale reading will be, we count to, that's 7, that's 0.07. So that our final reading, our total reading will be, when we add the two, you have 1.07 centimeter. So this is the reading here. So vernier caliper read up to those two. In terms of centimeter, the smallest value vernier caliper can measure is 0.01 centimeter. It can't measure beyond that. It can't measure lower than that. The least it can measure means the smallest value, and the smallest value is that each of these vernier calibration is 0.01. So the smallest you can measure using a vernier caliper is what? 0.01 cm. If it was in millimeters, if you convert 0.01 millimeters, you have what? 0.1 millimeters. So the reading accuracy of a vernier caliper is 0.1 millimeters, or you say 0.01 centimeters. So in terms of centimeter, you will notice that the decimal, it doesn't go beyond 2 decimal places. This is the first decimal place, this is the second decimal place. It doesn't go beyond 2 decimal places. So you see, B is off. D is off. So the answer, and you see C here has only 1 decimal place, and a vernier caliper measures beyond that. It measures lower than that. So this one is off. So the correct one is A 5.16. This is the accuracy a vernier caliper can measure. Vernier caliper cannot measure B, cannot measure up to this accuracy. While C is a vernier caliper can measure, less than that. So that while D, vernier caliper cannot measure up to 3 decimal places. So A is the correct answer. Thank you.